try to imagine your mom or your child or your brother or your sister, and you go to that halfway house and you open up that door, and that person inside is someone that you know and love, and how would your perception change? Some of the stereotypes that I've heard of people, especially women coming out of prison, are that, or the common fears are that, you know, they'll steal, or they're lazy, or that they might hurt me, or, you know, I can't trust them in my house. Like, who's this person? I don't want them in my house. They went to prison. Just like common excuses to not give people a fair chance. And if people actually kind of learned more about why people were in prison, they'll realize it normally had to do with someone that they loved, or a substance abuse problem, like a mental health problem. Like, no one is born evil. And I find that, like, people have like a 1 degree of separation in terms of forgiveness. So like when you know someone and they do something, it's more forgivable as if you don't know someone, right? When this all ties into like turning blind eyes to like when we're in relationships and we see someone that we love doing something wrong, like we don't really say anything, right? Because you have that, you're really close. But if it's like someone else you don't know that's doing something wrong, it's so much worse. It's important to break those stereotypes, because it's the right thing to do. You know, we're trying to be a more progressive, inclusive society. And by excluding people that have come out of prison, you're just gonna send them back to what they know, or like what they went through the first time. You know, if anything, it can actually help your business. Like, I know people that have come out of prison are very, very smart. When you work in prison, that's one of the most stressful environments in the whole world. You know, you have like nothing in there. You're working for $5 a day. I think it's pretty tough to be able to work there. So, you know, they're not going to spend their whole time trying to find other jobs, or they're not going to be on like LinkedIn trying to find other jobs. Like, they're like, oh my God, I just need to keep this job. They just want one job, right? So just to get that paycheck, just to like, so they can see their kids again, so they can buy their kids their birthday present from 3 years ago that they never got to buy them, right? So it's all just giving them a chance and really showing them like where their heart is, because you'll find they don't take anything for granted. Like, they are just so they're so focused on turning their life around, right? So I just want people to believe in them and give them a chance. In terms of society and the role that they can play in helping to reduce the stigma, when it comes to people coming out of prison, they should definitely not, the first and foremost, the black box on if you have a criminal record, which you've not been pardoned for, is like, you're punishing someone for, like, prison is supposed to be the time of punishment, okay? Like, you can't keep punishing someone for something they did 20 years ago. Like, I can understand some crimes for sure, but most crimes are drug crimes, right? And that, again, it stems back to substance abuse. And so, yeah, I think reducing the black box, or hire people with records. Put out like an offer that you want to hire people that have done time, because you see their value, and see how many people come out of the shadows. So I actually founded the business when I was inside my prison cell. And then I worked with a business partner on the outside. He's actually a friend of mine. We'd been friends for years, and I told him about this over the phone. And so he's like, all right, Emily, I'm going to help you. He's like, I think you have a good idea here. And not just like a business for me, but something that can scale. So something that has actual business sense for potential investment. And so the flavors are actually inspired by life on the inside. So lemon, pepper, dill, we kind of combine our own spices and put on our popcorn. Jailhouse cheese, which is Kraft dinner powder. You have peanut butter and jam. And you have Gen Pop is one of our flavors, which Gen Pop's actually a prison term. And so that's coconut oil and Himalayan sea salt. So I try to make some lighter flavors, and then also some like more fun flavors. They all have fun names, and with the goal of educating the public more about like what kind of person goes into prison, what happens in prison, and what happens when they get out, and what can you do to make that process a little bit more easier, because at the end it's better for society and it's healthier for society. So yeah, so Constant Kernels, we just went on Dragon's Den, which for the US viewers, it's our Shark Tank. And yeah, so it'll be out in September, and I'm doing lots of conferences. So like, we make popcorn for conferences. I do screenings for movies, productions. I'm all over Kitchener-Waterloo, Hamilton, and Toronto. So new events and opportunities are coming up every day where I never even think popcorn could go, and boom, there's popcorn. So it's very cool. And I've had a couple volunteers that have come out, and I also have people that have contributed to me letters sharing their stories. I'm trying to set up something. I don't know if this is going to work, but what I want to do is I want to get people that are currently incarcerated to write for me while they're inside, and then I can bill those hours and have money for them when they get out. So kind of like billable hours. So it's like, okay, how long this piece should take you? An hour? Okay, I'm gonna here's $15 that you can have when you get out, and like have a check for them waiting for when they get out. So that's kind of, I just thought of this the other day. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that before? Because I get a lot of mail, right? So I want people to write to me and share their stories and, you know, input on how they can grow the business. So it's like a collective business based on the correctional experience.
And how can we support Content Kernels?
Sure. You can support it just by sharing the story on social media. If you want to give me a call, if you want to write me an email, if you have any events, I'll gladly come out to them. And yeah, just by sharing, I guess. And if you have any video podcast stuff, I'd be happy to talk, or do speaking engagements, I'd be happy to come out. So
Sweet.
Game for anything.
And then as a bonus question,
Yeah.
What was the favorite book that you read when you were in prison?
The favorite book that I read in prison was called This I Know, and it's by Terry O'Reilly. And he is from Toronto. Well, he actually lives north of Toronto, but he has his own show on the CBC called Under the Influence, ironically. But it's all about branding and marketing. And yeah, so I read a total of 82 books in there, but that was definitely the one that stuck out for me the most.
And is there anything else that you would like to say to anyone watching this?
Yeah, I'm an open book. Honestly, read or write to me, contact me, ask me any question you want. If there's any person that you think I can connect with, definitely connect me to them. And hire next con.
Awesome, sweet. Thank you so much.